Is the buried treasure in the sandbox and grounded worth digging up? That's what we're going to find out in this video. I'll also be showing the location of all 15 buried treasures, as well as a few other key locations for getting some of the most sought after resources in the game. Before we begin, I want to thank all my channel members, especially the Overseer 91 and Grey Knight who help make videos like this possible. You too can become a channel member today via the join button below, the link in the description, or the join card at the end of this video. Let's get started. So first things first, let's take a look at what we're going to need in order to get the buried treasure. So the first thing you're going to definitely need is you're going to need the black ant shovel. This is the tier 2 shovel. You can get this from after you go through the black ant hill. You're going to need some black ant parts to craft it. This is required to dig up the buried treasure in the sandbox. You're also going to want to make sure you have the insect hammer, which is the tier 2 hammer. You're going to need this to break the mint candies and the spicy candies if you dig those up. And you might want to have an insect axe. This isn't going to be needed for the buried treasure, but there can be human food that you'll need either the insect hammer or the insect axe to break. If you're not going to get the food, you don't need to worry about this. For weapons, I personally use the Salt Morningstar as my main weapon and the Black Ant Shield when dealing with the ant lions. The primary enemy you're going to find in the sandbox is going to be the ant lions. They're all over the place. They're down in their pits. They're wandering around. They pop out of the ground. There's also one wolf spider, which I'll show you where that spawns, which I would use the Antlion Greatsword against, but this is going to be all up to you which you use. I prefer to use the Salt Morningstar against the Antlions. I know other people like to use the Black Ant Sword. Some people like to use an Antlion Greatsword, but that's just what I recommend. For armor, of course, the number one recommendation is going to be a full set of Antlion armor because each piece will give you sizzle protection. If you're not aware, the sizzle protection protects you from sizzling. If you're in the sandbox during the day when the sun's beating, you're going to have a sizzle bar that fills up. Once it fills all the way up, you're going to start taking a couple ticks of damage every second, and if you don't get to shade or jump in the water fast enough, you will end up losing all of your HP and having to respawn. So you don't want that. If you don't have the Antlion armor, the next best bet is going to be to equip Fresh Defense, which you can find down here. Level 3 of Fresh Defense will give you the highest sizzle protection. It's decent. It's not that great. You're gonna have to find shade pretty often, but it's better than not having anything at all. And of course, the worst possible case scenario will be to eat mint chunks. The mint chunks will give you, or the mint shards, whatever they're called, will give you some type of sizzle protection. But overall, if you're going to want to be doing this during the day, I would recommend using the Antlion armor. It has 3.5 defense, which is decent. It's light, so it's not going to burn your stamina, and it gives you the sizzle protection. You could, of course, come in here during the nighttime and wear whatever armor you want because you're not going to have the sizzling effect. Although it's much easier to spot the treasure when you're during the daytime, as you'll see, because you'll see that the treasure will actually sparkle. So you can see it from pretty far away. We'll see if we can see any over here real quick, just to show you. You can actually see them from really far away. Now, I have marked them all. I will show you the map real quick, and we'll see if we can see any out there. There should be some, at least one straight ahead, I believe, somewhere. It might be out. Yeah, you can see it right here above where my cursor is pointed. It'll sparkle in just a second, so you can see that. So that you can see them much easier, but I did mark them. So real quick, I'm going to show you the map. This is the map of the sandbox. Now, I've marked it with different things. So the yellow diamond here is going to be locations of buried treasure. Now, a couple things to note. The buried treasure is not 100% guaranteed to spawn, so not all of these will be here every time. In fact, I doubt you'll always get all of them. There's currently 15, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. From what I've seen, the ones around the sandcastle here and the 2 down here by the oasis for some reason do not respawn every day. The rest of them have a chance of respawning every day from what I've seen. These, for some reason, I had to sleep three nights in order for them to come back. So it was like every 4th day they were coming back. I'm not sure if you actually have to have it, you sleep to trigger it, but I did sleep just to make the time pass faster. So, and then I also noticed that for some reason, the ones around the sandcastle, at least for me, I've never had all 4 here recently. It's usually 2 or 3 of them. And then these 2 down here have not been respawning as often as these, but they're, so like I said, they're not always there, but these will respawn every day. So you can theoretically come over here every day. A couple other things that are on here. The Sandbox Lab Outpost, you've probably seen that. That's the lab that's here. This is the Black Ant Hill Descent. That's the exit from the Black Ant Hill. The other markers on here are going to be this little gray star here. These are the entrances to the salt mine. So in either one of these, you're going to have to kill an antlion that's down in the pit. You'll get down inside of here. There's 40 salt down there. I've already done a video on that. You're probably aware of that. The red marks here, this one's on the sandcastle. This one is up here underneath the bucket. These are the hot cha-chas candies. these can spawn in, and at least this one tends to spawn in every 4 days. This one seems to be random whether or not it spawns in, but they can both respawn. This one I've seen respawn, it respawns every 3 or 4 days. And when you break those, you'll get the spicy shards. The two that are purple here are other antlion caves that you can go down inside of. This one up here has a chance of either having a spicy shard, a mint. It could have a hot cha-cha's candy, a mint, the ice mint candy, or a salt cluster, and maybe quartzite. I can't remember. I think this one might also have quartzite, but there's not a guarantee. Sometimes there's nothing in there. Sometimes there's one. Sometimes there's all three. This one over here always will have at least one spicy, or the hot cha-cha candy from what I've seen. It can have up to 3. I've also seen it have a hot cha-cha's candy, the mint candy, as well as a salt cluster, and even sometimes have quartzite. So in this video, we're mainly going to be looking at the buried treasure, but I just wanted to point these out because you can get a significant amount of the different candy upgrade resources by going to these. But for this video, we're just going to be looking at what we're going to get from the buried treasure. So what I did was I already did 1 round of digging up all the buried treasure, and I have those in a basket over here. I wanted to do a second round just to get an idea of what the difference is, so we can get a better, obviously if we did this 10 times it would be better, but that's just going to take way too long. So I think doing it twice is better than only doing it once. So I'm going to really quickly go around. I'm going to show you how to dig up the treasure if you haven't done it before, and then I'm going to just speed through, dig them all up, and then we'll count up the resources we got. So you'll see all the different resources you can get from the buried treasure, as well as how much to expect. Now there's RNG involved in it. Sometimes you'll get a lot of one thing and not as much as another. Sometimes it's evenly distributed, and so it can be all over the place. So let's really quickly hop in here and just start digging them up. So like I said, I'm over here by the sandcastle. Now this time, this one did not respawn. That one did spawn. I think this one spawned over here. So you're just going to need the shovel. Now I'm in creative mode, so the antlions are not going to be attacking me. Do be mindful that when you see the little digging here, this will be an antlion that will pop out of the ground. When you come over by the sandcastle, it's almost a guarantee that you're going to run into, I think, 3. There's usually 2 on this side and at least 1 on the other side. There's sometimes 1 at the entrance over here. So you want to be careful. I usually end up killing all the antlions before I start digging, but since I'm in creative, we don't have to do that. So to dig it up, you basically just get your black ant shovel, start digging it up. You're going to get a chest here. Now, the ones that are around the sandcastle, so these 4 will always be a chest if they spawn. The other ones seem to be random from what I've seen. Sometimes they are a chest, other times they're just one of the candy things that you can break. So from that one, we got 2 spicy shards, 2 crow feathers, a sunken bone, and 2 mint shards. So that's a pretty decent haul there. Let's quickly head on over here to this other one and dig this one up. I'm not sure if this one respawned either. So like I said, there's 15 in total. Usually you'll end up getting probably 12 or 13 of them. So this one actually did show up this time as well. So it looks like we got 3 out of 4, which is awesome. We'll dig this one up real quick. And what do we get there? We got 2 more spicy shards, another crow feather, another sunken bone. This time we got an Omelot. And I think this one's here this time. So this one wasn't here the first time I went around, but it's here this time, so that's great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just dig these up. I'll skip ahead till I get to them because I do want to let you see what's in there. That time we only got 1 crow feather and 1 mint shard. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run over to the next spot. We'll quickly dig all these up. Then we'll head over to the Oasis and look at what we got in total, just so you can get a rough idea of what resources to get here. And you'll probably end up seeing that this is one of the better spots to get some of the more important resources that you're probably going to need as you're playing right now and also in future updates. Okay, so for this one that's in the center, it's just to the west of the Sandbox Lab outpost. You're going to want to be careful for this one specifically. This antlion in survival mode will try to snipe you by throwing ants or sand at you. So you want to definitely make sure you take care of that before you start digging it up. Let's see what we got this time. We got another chest, which is awesome because the chests are going to give you more than 1 different type of resource normally, anywhere from 2 to 5. So we got a spicy shard, crow feather, sunken bone, mint shard, and another Omelot, which is awesome. And there should be a couple more over here. Now again, you're probably going to, the safest bet to do here is to just systematically take all these antlions out because you're going to probably go down in the tunnels anyway. And also be mindful that they will pop out of the ground as you're wandering around over here. So like this one right here, you're probably going to want to take this one out and then be careful that there's not one walking around because there's a chance that it'll just pop up and hit you. You definitely don't want it popping up and hitting you because they will do a lot of damage to you no matter which difficulty you're on. Spicy shard, sunken bone. That time we got a gum nugget. That's the first gum nugget. We got another Omelot, which is awesome. So you can get, they're a really good source for food because there's really not many food sources inside the sandbox. So getting these treasure chests are a great source of food while you're in here. Up here, we're in the shade. So if you were here and the sizzling effect would not be affecting you. So if you're in the shade, the sizzling effect will not affect you. Like I said, I'm in creative, so no big deal there. This is insane. We got another treasure chest here. Usually it seems about 50-50. So we got more of the same things here. There's another one down here. This place seems to be pretty safe. I don't see any antlions that are digging through the ground, but like I said, you always want to be mindful. If you see them or hear them, make sure you take care of them. This looks like it's going to be a salt cluster or a salt shard. So this is where you get where it's kind of unlucky because you only get one salt shard, but that's okay. Better to get that than to not get anything. And then there should be another one over here, I believe. Yeah, so these are protected. You're not going to have to worry about any of the antlines that are down in the pits when you're getting these three. And another treasure chest, which is amazing. And that time we got a spicy shard and a mint shard. So let's head on over to the other side and gather the rest of them real quick before we see what our total haul is. So for this one that's in the top right corner up here, that's all over here by itself, this one's going to have a lot of antlines around it. You can see there's one, at least one there. I think I saw another, there's another one right here. There's usually around this one, probably 3, sometimes 4 antlines that are going to pop out. So you want to make sure you definitely fight them before you dig it up. Now this looks like it's actually a mint candy, which means we're going to get some mint chunks. So if you dig one of these up, this is going to be the ice caps mint. You're going to make sure you get your hammer out. You could use rock cracker for this, honestly. It'll help you break it faster. And you should get, when you break the candy pieces, you should get 4 pieces each time. So just be mindful that when you're breaking them that you should get 4, because sometimes they do roll away. So now we're in the center of the map. We're just to the east of the Sandbox Lab Outpost. This one's usually pretty safe. You might get one popping out of the ground, but there's not any in pits that are near here. This time we got the spicy, or the hot cha-chas candy, so that's going to give us spicy shards, which is honestly kind of what we're looking for here. We're looking for the different shards, because the Sandbox is a great place to get things to upgrade your weapons. So we should have got 4, and yep, there's this one here. Now, there's another one right over here on the other side. Now for this one, as you can see, there's the wolf spider. Oh, we can see the wolf spider fighting the antlion. And look, the antlion will actually destroy this. If you've never seen this, we might as well watch this fight. We can actually get in close because since we're on, look how quickly the antlion absolutely destroyed the wolf spider, taking almost no damage. Now, I didn't mention this, I don't think. The wolf spider spawns underneath the blue block over there. It'll usually come out at nighttime. Sometimes it comes out during the day. If it's unfortunate enough to run into an antlion, it's going to get wrecked. As you can see there, they do way too much. They do a lot of damage. Now, this one, I was digging this one up earlier today when I was streaming and in my survival world, and I ended up getting sniped. Not by the one down there, although that one could see you, but somehow this one I triggered it and didn't kill it, and I was standing here digging this, and it actually threw an ant over the edge here and hit me in the head and just knocked me out, and I had to respawn. So make sure when you're digging this one up specifically that you take out the ones that are in, at least the one that's in the pit over there. So here we have another ice caps mint, so we're going to get 4 more. We should get 4 more mint shards, which is awesome. Because they're kind of like, to me, this mint shards are probably the hardest of the shards to get. And let's not let it roll down there. So that's 4. This one's going to be probably one of the more dangerous ones, because as you can see, there's antlines that pop out of the ground. Sometimes the wolf spider's still under there. And the black ants, if they're wandering around, will trigger the antlions to pop out of the ground because they fight each other. Because this human food is here, the cookie. So if the cookie's here, you're going to want to be careful that these aren't popping out. And as you can see, it actually broke my trail marker there. So that's unlucky. So let's take care of these guys real quick. So if you're playing this, if you're doing this survival, I would not recommend putting actual trail markers down. What I would do is I would put a temporary one like this and just leave. Whoops, I don't want to do that. So in survival, I guess you can't place a temporary. I would just place a temporary one like this and just place it, and then you'll know where they are. Because as you can see, the antlions can pop out of the ground, and or if they're just fighting above the ground, they can actually destroy it. So you're definitely going to. We got another ice cast mint, which is awesome. I would definitely recommend just using the map that I'm going to share with you down in the description below. Actually, I don't remember if I mentioned that or not. There will be a map down in the description below, the one I showed earlier, which will show all these so you can download it, and that way you don't have to actually put the markers there because they're probably going to get broken. So there's 2 more that can possibly spawn over here. I don't think they were actually spawned in this time. At least they weren't when I checked earlier. This one's not here. So sometimes there's one that spawns right here. And then there's another one that can spawn over here by the cactus. And like I said, there's not 100% spawn rate, so you'll usually get like 12 to 15 of them. And then this one's usually like right here somewhere, so this one didn't spawn either. So we can check and see what we got this time from our haul and then compare it to the previous one I did just to see what like a decent average would be. Okay, so we got our hammer here. So we got ourselves 1 salt shard. We got 16 spicy shards. We got 23 mint shards. We got 6 crow feathers, 5 sunken bones. We got ourselves 1 gum. And then we got, let's trash that right there. We got, what is that? 1 amelant, 2 amelants, 3 amelants, 4 amelants. So that's pretty decent. We got 1 salt, 16, 23, and then as you can see, this is with this. So now taking a look at what's in the basket, you can see that the previous time I did it, I got 3 salt shards, I got 15 spicy shards, so about the same of each one of those. 12 mint. This time we got more mints because we dug up more mints. About the same number of feathers, about the same number of sunken bones. The gum was about the same, 3 to 1. These rotten foods here were 2 amelants and 1 quesadilliton, or quesadilla antlion. I don't know how you say it. I just say quesadilliton. So each time I got between 3 and 4 foods, we got each different kind of chunk or shard, and then I got the you can get a crow feather, sunken bones, and gum nuggets. These are all the resources I've seen in there. And then, of course, the amelant, and you can get a quesadilliton. Now, that's a pretty good haul for what we did. So, on average, we got 2 salt, about 15 spicy. What's that? 23 plus 12 is 36. So, about 18 mint on average, 6.5 crow feathers, 5.5 sunken bones, and 2 gum nuggets. And then we got 3 meals one time and 4 meals the other time. So, about 3 to 4 meals. I know I did it in my survivor wall one day and ended up getting 5 meals. Now, this is also not including breaking up the other things. So, like, if you get this spicy shard here, this hot chocolate candy, that's going to be up. That's going to be 4 more. If this one spawns in, that can be 4 more. This salt mine that's down here, and it looks like another one of our markers got broken, so I'll make sure I put that back. This salt mine has 40 salt shards in it, guaranteed. Every single time there's 40 of them in there, so that's going to give you 40 of those. And then these 2 over here can be random. I know I've gone through them. Sometimes you'll get maybe between 5 and 10 spicy shards, and then sometimes you might get mint or quartzite or salt shards. As you saw, the buried treasure is definitely worth digging up on a regular basis. Combined with the resources in the antlion tunnels and the others found in the sandbox, it's the single best way to get salt and spicy shards, and in most cases mint shards. I'll leave a picture of the map with all my trail markers in the description down below. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit the like button, and if you want to support the channel directly, click the join card on the screen right now and become a channel member today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.